All right, it is time for a rainbow book haul. Hello, my name is Emily Crow and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is a special day. It is my birthday. Super exciting, and as a way to kind of treat myself, I thought I would do a really fun video for you guys. Today, I am gonna go book shopping. And if you've been following along on my channel, I do a lot of fiber arts stuff, but I've also been doing a lot of reading this year, and it's been really fun to expand on my hobbies. And today, I really wanna go book shopping because I clearly don't need more yarn. So I thought book shopping would be the way to go. I got this idea originally from Just Allie's YouTube channel. She went book shopping for books in the color of the rainbow, and she did this a little bit different, fudged it a little bit, did 2 separate videos. She did her own way, but for me, I want to be, ideally, really strict and have 7 different books of the 7 colors of the rainbow. That is my ultimate goal. We'll see how that turns out today. Today, I'm going to my local bookstore. It's called Poppy's Books and Gifts, and it is in downtown Spanish Fork, Utah. And I'm really lucky that this is so close to me that I can just make a little trip and go on over there. So I'll be taking you along with me as I'm browsing this really cute little bookstore that I love to go to, and hopefully finding some books that'll fill out a rainbow of colors. I have been waiting for this day. Poppy's has a punch card system that when you spend $20, you get a little punch. When you fill, I think, 10 punches, then you get a discount. I just finished a punch card last time I visited. Hi, Alfred. Hi, kitty. I just finished a punch card last time I visited, and so, Alfred, you're making too much noise. Bye, cat. I just finished a punch card last time I visited Poppy's, and so I am ready to go to do a big book haul for this video and using my little discount, which is exciting. That would probably be cheating to buy like 5 books and get 5 colors, right? people actually read this? It's huge. Red, yellow. Red or yellow. All right, I am almost done. I've almost got my rainbow. I'm only looking for like one more book. And then I have one that's like a maybe it counts. When it's next to the other books, I don't think it looks like the color I want, but when it's by itself, I think it is the color I want. So I feel like I'm gonna just keep it. So that leaves one book left. I'm in the YA section now. We'll see if anything catches my eyes, or else I'm going back upstairs to see if I can find one more book for my rainbow of a book haul. Purple, pink. I was actually thinking about getting this book for my brother because he's been enjoying cooking recently, and I've read this. I really liked it. I want a copy for myself, but I was thinking about getting it for him for Christmas. Should I just grab it now? It's not part of the rainbow. For one color, it's a lot harder to find what I'm looking for. Joke's on me, it's a red book. Book haul acquired, and I'll show you what I got when I get home. All right, I am back with my haul of books, a whole rainbow, 7 books, red to violet, and I'm so excited to share with you what I picked up. And my cat is here. Alfred is probably going to make a little noise. So sorry about him. We will start off with red. And I tried to kind of throw you guys off the scent through my videos. There's actually a lot of rainbow colored choices. There's a lot more choices than I thought there would be when I decided to do this challenge of getting a book in every color of the rainbow. And so there's lots to choose from. I did show you some books that I thought would be good choices if you have not picked them up yet, though a lot of the books that I showed I do already have in my library. So I didn't end up picking up a lot of what I showed, but let me show you what I did grab though. First and foremost, I've had my eye on this book for a little while. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I have enjoyed V.E. Schwab in the past. I've read only one of their books actually, and I've been meaning to get to them, but they've got a couple series that are kind of in the realm of fantasy, dark academia type of vibes, and I just haven't started because I feel like I have a lot of series on my plate, so I haven't felt the urge, but I really wanted to pick this up. Red, there you go, Vicious. So this is like, there's a couple of college students, I think, and they find out that if they almost die, they can get superpowers. And so then you get like the supernatural powers and whatnot. So sounds like it'll be a really interesting like fantasy sci-fi type of mix. And this is a series, so if I like it, I can keep going, which I think I will like it. I'm excited to see how I like it. The orange book that I picked up, I've read from this author before as well. This is Jennifer Saint's Electra, and I actually don't know too much about this story, and that's what I really like about myth retellings, is that I feel like you get your really common ones that you hear about, but as that genre has grown, you get a lot of more interesting characters that you don't really hear much about in classic mythology. And so I think that's really cool, and I really like getting into the nitty-gritty of these myths. And so Electra is the next one, and I've heard really good things about this book. in all the books I was looking at by Jennifer Saint, this one seems to have one of the highest ratings on Storygraph that I've seen. And so I'm really excited about this. I read Ariadne and I enjoyed it. And so I'm excited to read another book by her. For my yellow book, this is the book that gave me the most hard time. Once I had all my other books, I only needed a yellow book left, and it just seemed when I only had one color in mind, I could not find any yellow books that I wanted to pick up. In the fantasy section, it felt like they were either books I was not in the mood to read at all. I had a couple like that, or they were like later on in a series. I made sure that I didn't grab any books I've already read, even if I didn't have a copy already, and I didn't want to grab any books that were part of a series that it was in the middle of, where I'd have to read other books before I could get to it. I wanted to grab books that I could start today if I wanted to start them today, either standalones or first in a series or whatnot, or something that it's not pertinent that you read other books in the series. So yellow was really hard for me, but I managed to find one that I liked. And there were also some that I was interested in, but I also didn't know if I wanted to have a copy of the book, like Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I really do want to read that, but I also feel like I might read it and be glad I read it, but also not want it in my library. So I think I'm going to do an audiobook for that one. But this book was rated really high compared to the other books in this series. And this is where you don't need to read other books in the series to necessarily get the content you want out of one of these books. This is Agatha Christie's Death on the Nile. It's a Hercule Poirot mystery. If you've seen one of my recent crochet and knitting podcasts, I mentioned that I read Halloween Party. And while there were lots of things I liked about the mystery aspect, I did not enjoy how the characters talked about certain subjects. And there were lots of problematic things. It is part of the time period. I'm hoping that I will see less of the problematic language here in this book. I'm giving Agatha Christie one more try to see if I like it. This is one of her highest rated Hercule Poirot books, and so I'm hoping that this will work out. This is yellow, right? This is yellow. There's some orange and stuff, but this is a yellow book. The next book, Green, is one I've had my eye on, and Poppy's Books and Gifts is actually doing a book club. They actually have 3 book clubs a month, and they're doing this book as one of their book club picks. And this book is called Shark Heart, a love story by Emily Habak. And I don't know a ton about this, though it sounds like it's like a magical realism. There's newlyweds. The guy turns into a shark or something. Like, it sounds like it'll be really weird, but I've heard everyone loves it, that it's really heartwarming, hits them in the feels, magical realism type of book. So I am intrigued about it. I think that it'll teach me some things. In a book like this, there are deeper themes and meanings that can apply to my own life or to my interactions with other people. I've heard great things about it, and so I do really want to read it, and I want to read it in time for book club so that I can participate. Green book. And that's the only hardcover I got. I did not want to get a lot of hardcovers because that costs a lot of money, but I knew I wanted to get that book, and I've been waiting and waiting, and I figured I would support my local bookstore in purchasing it and prepare for their book club. The next book, a blue book. Now this one, there's some other colors on the cover, but the majority is blue, so I think it still counts. This is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, and I read Divine Rivals a couple months ago. Blew me away. Oh my goodness. Escapism. It was so good. So I'm really excited to read another book by her. It is very highly rated by a lot of people. So I'm excited. I know 0 things about it other than I really like Rebecca Ross's writing in Divine Rivals. So I'm excited to get into it. I think it's either a duology or like the very beginning of a series. I know there's a second book already out. So we'll see. I hope it's just a duology because I can handle a duology. We'll see how it goes. It's a little bit of a thicker book. It's a bigger lettering, so it wasn't in the YA section, but it definitely could read like a YA book. We shall see how that goes. Okay, the next color is indigo, which is granted a very hard color to capture, and I had a really hard time finding it, but I had this book in mind already, and the reason I wanted to do indigo was because I knew I had this book in mind. I would probably have just done 6 books for the rainbow, except for I knew I had a shoe-in for the indigo color, and I mentioned it in the bookstore, but I feel like next to blue and purple, it does not look indigo, but if it's on its own, it definitely looks like it's a muted indigo type of color. So I'm gonna count it as an indigo colored book. This is The Lady and the Highwayman by Sarah Eden. I read one of her books when I was younger, and it remains one of my favorites, Courting Miss Lancaster, which apparently is the second book in a series of like all the siblings, and like they have their Regency romances and whatnot. It's a YA, I'm pretty sure, but I love that book growing up. I still have a copy of it from a decade or two ago, like a long time ago, and I'm really excited to read more of her work. I did buy a book that was the Dread Penny Society like collection, and I thought it was all 5 of her novels in this series together. It was actually just the Penny Dreadfuls that are included within the books, and so they're like a big portion of the book, but like they're like chapters within the story that are written by the protagonist in this book, if that makes sense. And so I was like, oh, darn it, I thought I was getting the series. I was actually just getting the stories within the story. So then I decided I really needed to pick up the actual book. So I have it now. It is indigo. Like I said, it's not quite blue. And it's not quite purple, especially next to this purple. It does not look indigo, but I would call that indigo, halfway between blue and purple. So that is my indigo pick. And finally, you just saw a little sneak peek. This is my violet pick. Today it's called Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, and this is a new release. It is a chonky boy. I don't normally get romances that are this chonky. It's the first in the series. I'm hoping it's more of like a companion novel, so I don't feel compelled to read more of the stories if I don't want to. I've never read any of her books before. She's written other like lakefront billionaires. I don't know if I'm down for a billionaire romance, but she is apparently like an interior designer, and I've heard that that's like a really interesting take as they're working together to like renovate a house or something. Thought it might be interesting. I want to give her a try, and I've heard that people are really liking this book by her, that it might be one of their favorites by her, so I'm giving it a chance and seeing if I like this author. Ta-da! Here is my rainbow of books. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Roy G. Biv. I'm really excited to have these books in my TBR, and we'll decide which ones I get to soon. I think I'm leaning towards Shark Heart. Gotta knock that one out so I can participate in book club. But other than that, I don't know. All great choices. I do have a couple other books I'm in the middle of right now, so I gotta finish those, and then I can come back to this. This was really fun. In some ways, it was a challenge, especially when I got stuck on something or when I had like a couple books of the same color I had to try to decide between. But in other ways, it was just really fun and really open. There were lots of books that I saw that did not fit this color palette. Lots of like pinks and whites and things. But I'll have to go back another day when I am ready to do some more book shopping to shop for those. But I'm really happy with this haul, and I think that I'm going to really enjoy all of these books and be happy that they are part of my library, which is why I wanted to purchase them. I do a lot of audiobooks, but I tried to reserve buying physical books to those that I think that I'm really going to enjoy, the kind of books I want to recommend to people, the kind of books I want to lend out to people, and the kind of books I want to display in my home. This is a fun addition to my TBR shelf. Thanks for joining me on my little birthday rainbow book haul, because this was so fun. Let me know if you've ever done a little book trip for yourself. Make sure you treat yourself for your own birthday. And let me know any of the books that you've read from this stack that you'd recommend that I start with, or if there are any other books that you think I should really dive into. I do have quite a range of tastes, and so I'm open to almost anything. And here's another thing. I really wanted to pick up like a horror or a sci-fi, and I didn't really find any that were in the rainbow colors. Actually, there was a lot of like black and white and like dusty colors. So kind of interesting that there weren't as many colorful options in those categories, at least at the local bookstore that I went to. So I'll have to pick up another horror or sci-fi sometime soon. But let's see, as far as like the genres, I'd say, let's see, let me organize. I tried to have a variety. So it looks like I've got a couple fantasies. I don't know exactly how this one is classified, but it was in this fantasy section. at my library. I'm sure it could kind of cross over in a couple other spots. Let's see, this is technically a historical fiction, a myth retelling. I've got a historical romance, but then I've got another romance as well. I have a mystery, and I have, is this lit fic? Would you call it lit fic or general fiction, magical realism? So I've got a good variety, and really I'm only missing like a horror or a sci-fi. Maybe next time I need to do a big book haul. I should go to every section of the bookstore and pick out one book from every section to kind of branch out a little bit. But I do not need to buy any more books soon, so that'll be in the distant future. Thanks for joining me on this little book vlog and showing you my haul of my rainbow of books. And if you really like to see this kind of content from me, definitely let me know down below, because I would love to branch out into more bookish content, as that's a lot of what I'm consuming nowadays. I would love to share with you books that I am reading, books that I want to read, books that I am buying, all things within the book realm. So let me know if you want to be along for the ride for that. And until next time, happy reading! Bye!